Welcome back to Cameron Hall. I'm Jack Hunter. Today is senior day for three cadet athletes, Devin Butler, DJ Nussbaum, and Jake Johnson, guys that have made incredible commitments to the program, and they've been through everything. Roster changes and a coaching change midway through their careers, season-ending injuries, and then just the day-to-day grind of being a cadet athlete. And we talked with Andrew Wilson this morning, and he gave these guys the ultimate character compliment. He said he hopes his son grows up to be the men that these cadet athletes have become during their time at VMI. It's not only a reunion for Dan Earl, but also for Trey Bonham and Honor Huff, who played for Earl here at VMI and are now playing for him at Chattanooga. Only three guys on that VMI side now played with the two of them, Bonham and Huff. I talked to all three of them before the game, Wade, and their messages were very similar. They're going to be excited to talk to him after the game and see him again, but during the game, they're just like everybody else, opponents for tonight's matchup. Welcome back to Cameron Hall. I'm Jack Hunter. Junior guard Brendan Watkins told me before the game that he just feels so grateful to be back out on the court after injuries derailed his first two seasons at VMI. He tore his labrum at the end of his freshman year, and then while recovering his sophomore year, realized he had a sports hernia that also needed surgery. And after 611 days off of the court, he returned versus Richmond, a career-high 24 points. Andrew Wilson told me before the year that veteran guys like Watkins were really standing out in the preseason, and Wade, that's a good thing. You want your veteran guys leading the group going into the season. Watkins certainly one of those guys. After American started on an 11-0 run to start the game, how are you guys able to respond so effectively?
Yeah, I'm proud of the guys, man. We showed a big-time response right there.
American is 0 for 6 on their last three-point attempts after a blistering start. How do you continue that trend?
They're a really good offensive team. We're doing everything we can to try to defend the three-point line right now, but it's tough.
Coach, you said you challenged your guys at halftime to continue to play to this new standard you talk about. How did they do in the second half?
Yeah, I thought we did a great job. I'm interested in getting better every single possession.
You got 13 guys in the game tonight. 11 of them got major minutes. After last year, you might have only had 7 available for most of the year due to injuries. How nice is it to have this depth, and what is it doing for your team?
Yeah.
Dan Earl did not mince his words at halftime. He thought his defense was bad. He thought his guys were losing track of who to guard tight, who to sag off of a little bit, and did not like how his guys got back in transition. That was the main message, and he's challenging his guys to come out with a newfound focus here in the second half. Talking to Dwayne Simpkins at halftime, he was very pleased with his first half play, especially offensively. He said the priority coming into this game was getting the ball in the paint and either finishing there or kicking out for in-rhythm threes. He says his team doesn't want to settle for threes. They want to at least get a paint touch before they get those three-point attempts, so he liked that. One thing that he wants to improve in the second half is getting Matt Rogers involved in the offense. VMI's defense did a good job of holding him somewhat in check and not letting him get too crazy offensively. VMI received a big boost heading into conference play with the acquisition of former college great and NBA player Xavier Silas. Obviously a unique situation joining a team mid-season, but senior Devin Butler told me he immediately earned the respect of the players with his knowledge and passion of the game. And for Silas, he didn't waste any time making his mark on the program. He was the one that convinced Andrew Wilson to play at this frantic pace going into conference play, Wade. Welcome back. I'm Jack Hunter. The Dwayne Simpkins era at American has begun, which marks the first time in a decade that American has had a new head basketball coach. And he was really fortunate that 4 out of the 5 leading scorers from last season came back to play for Simpkins in his first year at American, which is unheard of in this day of college basketball. But he does want to change the play style coming into this year, and we've seen it on full display, going from last year's slow, methodical Princeton offense to a fast and flowing offense that includes a lot of three-pointers. And Wade, 6 for 8 from three-point line to start this one today. They're shooting 11 more three-pointers this year on average than they were last year per game.
Yeah,
60 years ago yesterday, VMI hoisted its first ever Southern Conference championship in basketball, defeating George Washington and appearing in their first NCAA tournament berth a little bit later in that year. But for VMI, what people remember about that season was the game before. They beat a nationally ranked Davidson team who was in the top 10, 82-81. Lefty Drizel coached that Davidson team. Bill Blair led the way with 27 points in that game, and Charlie Schmoss had the go-ahead bucket as time was about to expire. Head coach Weenie Miller got carried off of the floor by his players on their shoulders, and Wade, we can celebrate that milestone this weekend in just what was an incredible game in VMI basketball history.
Yeah, it was the biggest upset